Hi Liz, hi Gordon. Sorry for the long catch up. I tried to get your email multiple times, or tried to email me multiple times, and I must have got something wrong because it wouldn't send through. But anyway, Linda's sent me your email, Liz and Gordon. And hello, how are you? It's been 2 years. Hope you're doing well. And Liz, this part may bore you, so it's about trains. So I've got about 2 years of model train stuff to catch Gordon up on. Yeah, here it is. So this is my layout now. Before I went to the UK, I did not have a layout, and this is my current layout. It's called Highbury Junction. It's set in the 50s or 60s of England, near, whatchamacallit. Oh, it'll come to me later. Anyway, but yeah, so funny seeing your layout kind of inspired me to get into British Railway stuff. Because before I came to the UK on my holiday, I just had a random assortment of locos. I didn't know what type of layout I wanted to do, other than I wanted a layout. So this kind of inspired me, or your layout. So yeah, so this layout actually just started as a shunting layout. So it just started with this board here, which is the station, and this half over there, which was a bit of a yard, um, to shunt some trucks. Later on, probably my most recent addition was the port area and this board. So this board here is removable, and I just slot it into my table here. Oh, sorry, slot it into the middle of the layout. Otherwise, I can't get my computer chair in and sit down at my computer. So that's why my chair's over there. I'm sure you can see the very clear divide in what my half of the room and my partner's side of the room. Yeah. So I've got half of this room each. Yeah. Other bits, I store my locos up here with a little plaque I got at the Tallyclin Railway. Yeah, so there's some of my locos, mostly all BR locos, but I do have quite a few Thomas locos that I got. That diesel there is actually a 3D printed face, that I got online. It's just a normal O8 shunter, but I put a face on it. And then we've got Gordon, James, Percy, Toby, Diesel, Duck, and Thomas. And I think Annie and Clarabelle are already on the layout, as you can see. Yeah, one of my other favourite locos I got for Christmas 2024 for my partner, Dominion of New Zealand. Oh, not very good camera angle because of the light, but yeah, there's Dominion of New Zealand. I still remember you telling me that you saw all of them except three of them, which was Dominion of New Zealand, Ralph Wedgwood, and I forgot the other one. But yeah, the only really incomplete part of the layout is this bit here, of what I want to do here. I did have a building over from the port. The port's still incomplete, by the way. I'm still printing off stuff to all these barrels and bits of detail and stuff. So yeah, I've got a little man fishing here. But yeah, that's the port area, which I'm quite happy with. And W. Jones. It's a building I found on Trade Me, which is our equivalent of eBay. Yeah, Pico backgrounds, they go quite nicely. But I suppose I better run a train for you, so I'll just get my controller. The wiring's pretty crude, but it works. I've got a pannier on the line, I think, at the moment. We'll just set the camera down somewhere. Oh, I've already got a... Of course we do. I haven't cleaned the track in a while, so let's set the camera down and we'll watch it roll through the station, I suppose. And there it goes. And around it goes. And it goes behind the shed there. Quite a tight curve, first radius, but it does the work. And then into the station. So, I mostly do this layout as shunting. And I shunt up a train and then send it around. But sometimes I like to just run some passengers around while I work on my computer. Or while I'm just cleaning up or whatever, really. Yeah. I've also got a small N-scale layout on my desk. Unpowered at the moment, but as you can see, it just sits here under my monitor and I run it around sometimes. I've got some other N-scale stuff up here. from a mate of mine who gave it to me. So BR stuff, little Great Western wagon there. Yeah, I'm sure you'll probably want to see more. So if you do, let me know, and I'm sure we can organise more videos or something. And here's one of my favourite locos, the Q1 that I ran on your track. I've got a 9F there, 4MT, Q1. Recently not working, with a little J72, I believe. A little Terrier. United States Merchant Navy, an N2. And I've got a dozen more locos and wagons, all in these drawers. So sometimes if I want to not run the BR stuff, I run the Sodor stuff. And I pull out the circus train, a few of the Sodor scrap wagons, which I've got here. And sometimes I do some pre-grouping running, but mostly BR, because that's what most of the locos in stock I have. Another one, which I found it quite funny. After I got back from the UK, I found this on Trade Me, which is the truck, the Humpney, Kidderminster. And I literally just got back from the Severn Valley Railway, so I found that quite funny. So I nipped that up quickly on Trade Me. I'll show a few interesting bits of the layout. So I've got a little farm field here, a little forest. Station scene I quite like, lots of people. A lot of the stuff, apart from the people and vehicles, is 3D printed. So basically, I can find some files online. So for here, for instance, I've got some barrels. And what that would cost me at a model shop, maybe, what, $15? I can literally print for about 0.5 cents. So bugger all, really. And that's 9 barrels. And then I just paint them up. Like all these bollards here, they're all 3D printed. These little life buoys. All these crates. That pile of crates there and stuff. The coal and ash bin there, that's 3D printed. All these tiles, that is just 3D printed sheets. And I've just cut them out. So it's quite handy. And this layout probably wouldn't look half as good. Oh, we've got to go under now. That's the only part. I've got some more locos here. And it was my birthday yesterday, actually. And that's the present I got myself. The little, I don't know, Kobo electric. And then I've got a Ginty there. The one I ran at your layout, I think. I've got, ignore the German half tracks. I've got a Black 5 there and an 8F. Just so I can run them on quickly. Let's get there. Yeah, so this building here, 3D printed. Pretty much all those 2 back ones, 3D printed. Same with those 2 there. Same with this. The coal's real coal, New Zealand coal. The little oil tanker and the wood and the coal storage, all 3D printed. The little crane there, crane barrels and the little shed, that's 3D printed. The back's just old cardboard, handmade one someone got. These are funnels here, 3D printed. This is a little Bachmann half relief scene though, that one was a model. All the retaining walls here, 3D printed. And so is this building here. This is based on one of the Thomas and Tank Engine loading docks in Brendam Docks. And the crane is just an old Airfix Dapol kit. But yeah, and then I've got where I display some of my locos off, as I'm sure you saw. And I've even printed some faces for the trucks. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it of my layout. I've got a few bits and small layouts, shunting layouts and stuff, which are incomplete at the moment. But this is my main layout, Highbury Junction. I don't know if you use Instagram. May not be your thing, but I do run an Instagram page on there where I post lots of locos. Or even Facebook. I am on Facebook. So, Facebook or Instagram. I'll send you my details for that, Taryn Southall. Anyway, I will end the video. I hope you enjoyed a catch-up of my layout, Gordon. Sorry I haven't been in contact for a while. But hopefully we can have a few more chats over time. Anyway, I'll see you later, mate.